Good morning, everybody. It's me, Lauren, founder of This Girl's Enough, and I'm joined this morning by the beaut Nicola Ray Wickham. And some of you might not recognise her initial name, but you might recognise this. This is what you'll recognise about Nicola Ray Wickham, if you can see them. Look at that. Beautiful. Now, I use these and I share them constantly, and Steph Granger shares them quite a lot, so you probably recognise this brand. Nicola Ray Wickham is the genius behind the beautiful, let me show you the logo, A Life More Inspired. She's all about living an inspired life rather than just sitting on your ass moaning about the life you got. They're my words, not hers. That might not be how you describe it, Nicola, but that's me. I'm wearing my headphones today because the video I done with Ella yesterday, I was really echoey, so I'm quite conscious of that. So this is how we roll, right, Nicola? So a bit of background, I met Nicola a year ago at Susie's Strategy Day, and she just blew me away. She's another one of these women that's just sucked me in with her magical auras, and felt an instant connection with her. And then we've just done a retreat weekend, which was totes emotion. Am I right, Nicola?
Yes. Oh my God.
Nicola's also got a revelation of a story that has gone into Filter Free. She's another one of my contributors, so thank you for that. Very interesting. But this morning we are talking all about these bloody affirmations, right? Now this word is banded around left, right and fucking centre now in the circles that I move in. I'm not sure beyond that how big this thing is, but it's definitely become a staple for me and a lot of my friends. And I talk about them in the group, and I'll be talking about them on the Becoming Enough project. We're going to spend quite a bit of time with affirmations because I think they're really underestimated how beneficial they are. And for anyone who just saw me do my live feed in the group, where saying I'm pretty low down at the moment in my emotional state, and I just said to Nicola, I'll give a disclaimer that I might cry at some point because they're there, they're just there. It's not going to take much to tip them out. But I'm relying heavily on my affirmations at the moment because of my emotional well-being and trying to build myself back up to a more substantial space. Nicola, where did you start this idea? How did you find out about affirmations? Where did you start with this amazing little design, like the idea?
Well, my I call it my self-discovery journey started about 5 years ago. It's quite ironic today, actually. My daughter's birthday. It's her 4th birthday, and my journey, my journey started with trying to conceive her, because that was the hardest time of my life. I won't go into, it's like a long story of its own, but I've got an abnormal reproductive system, and then I suffered a number of miscarriages after trying for a year to conceive, and I was all consumed by trying to get pregnant. I always saw myself as being a mother, so it was a massive part of my life. And when I thought that it wasn't going to happen, I was like, well, what do I actually do? Like, how do my husband and I function? Because that's kind of the reason I married you.
Just for his willy? Nicola!
Yes, exactly. I didn't even want the ring. I just want the baby. I don't care about the ring. But yeah. Anyway.
Poor guy.
So it was a really, really difficult time. And I had a very good friend who's into kind of spiritual things, and she introduced me to it all when she saw how low I was. So I was doing yoga, I was into my chakras, I started meditating, she introduced me to affirmations, and that was really the start. And we went on a girly holiday to Ibiza, and it was like partying, but it was also really spiritual as well. And it was on that holiday she really said, okay, Nicola, you need to affirm that this is what's going to happen. You need to change the way you think. And we were at a really beautiful spot in Ibiza looking down. It was kind of really magical. And she was like, right, Nicola, feel it. Like, say what it is that you want. And not just in terms of having a baby, but for your life. And that was the point that it all started. And I was like, wow. And I came back home the next month. I got pregnant by my husband, not in Ibiza.
It's a bit of a crossover there, Nicola. Are we sure? Are we sure?
Like him, it's fine. So yeah, it was the next month I got pregnant, and it was a pregnancy that stuck because that had been kind of an issue for me as well. And that was when I was like, this shit works. Like, it was the point in my life when everything started, and I believe that that's the first thing that I've been manifesting my whole life, but it was the first time that I was consciously And
so when we talk about manifesting, for people who aren't in the whole voodoo circle that we run in, manifesting is just when you attach emotion to your wildest wants and dreams. Doesn't have to be massive. I manifested this cup of tea this morning because in my head driving home I was like, I'm going to have a cup of tea when I get home. Actually, it's coffee. But it's turning your dreams into reality, big or small, isn't it? And it's just, I mean, it goes a lot deeper than that. If anybody's interested in manifesting, start hitting up YouTube, because it goes so much more deep than that. But basically, we're all in control of all of this shit. So there you go. So you were manifesting on a high level.
Yeah, absolutely, because we're always manifesting.
Yeah.
But sometimes we're creating things that we don't want, and it was,
and
I've always created things that I wanted, but I didn't realize what I was doing. But this was the first time that I started using all these tools that my friend had introduced me to, and it absolutely changed my life. I do not believe that I would have got pregnant with a pregnancy that stuck if I hadn't been doing that stuff.
Wow.
I know, because in my head I was blocking it, and there's kind of other reasons. When the doctor told me I had an abnormal reproductive system, that became my self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when I was able to speak to my friend and start doing all this stuff, it changed the conversation I was having in my head. And then I was like, right. So had my daughter, always knew that I wanted to start my own business. I initially started with helping small businesses with their marketing, realised that wasn't right for me, and Susie helped me to do that. And a Life More Inspired was something that was always on my heart to do. So I've started off with affirmation cards, but I've got big dreams to add. I want a whole inspirational merchandise line. I want to do a journal next. Kind of based around affirmation.
Your photos, I mean, if you're one for visuals, you have to follow Nicola just for that, because the flat lays, is it called on Instagram? So a flat lay is when the stuff's laid out beautifully and it's taken from above, and there's always a what are those bloody flowers? My brain's fucked today. Those big bulb, the peonies. There's always like a bunch of peonies and a white background. And Nicola has absolutely catched it beautifully. Even thrown in a pineapple here and there, haven't you?
I love pineapples.
I love your imagery, and we joke about it, but even imagery can be so inspirational, because we look at pictures and we think, I want that life. I look at your photos and I'm like, I want a bronze pineapple. It's inspirational. So, to tag it up with a beautiful affirmation card as well, these beautiful affirmation cards as well. I mean, it's just a visual dream. So if you follow Nicola, even just for a bit of eye candy, you're going to get what you want. So just thought I'd throw that in. So your big dreams, journal, you're quite heavy into journaling, aren't you?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm massively into journaling. It's funny because I was a kid that wrote a diary.
Right.
Always wrote a diary, but it wasn't Dear Diary. I would actually write to myself, which is a little bit weird.
That's
Till my best friends found it. Hello, they were like, Nicola, why are you writing to yourself?
But do you know what? How powerful is that, though, as a child, to be able to connect with your child?
Exactly.
At that time.
Exactly. Now I realised what I was doing, in that I was talking to myself, and I was starting that internal conversation without even realising it. So I think when we say Dear Diary, there's nothing wrong with it, but we're kind of externalising things. Whereas when it's to yourself, it's got a power there that I didn't realise it had at like 12 years old. And then I stopped for a while, and then I picked it back up when I kind of started doing all of the self-discovery journey bits and pieces, and I just fell in love with it.
What is it? Because I'm struggling with my journaling journey, if you will. I've got a brain that doesn't commit easily. Nicola, is my problem. So I find journaling a challenge, which I've said to you before in the past. I want to do it. I love the idea of it, and I totally buy into the benefits of it tenfold, because I know how powerful putting pen to paper is. And I buy all the beautiful journals, but you're doing a challenge, aren't you, at the moment? Didn't I see you're doing a journal challenge in your group?
Oh, no, I've got a journal challenge running. So if anyone wants to join that, they can sign up. But I've also just about to release 111 journal prompts. So I've done it for my VIP Dream and Do Club members.
Okay.
I was like, this is too good not to share, so I'm going to be putting it out later on.
Please share it in this group when you do it, because I would love to see it anyway. I would really love to see it. And if you put that sign up, I'd like to sign up for that as well, because really want to get my journaling locked down. Because yeah.
I mean, I know that some people, like we've talked about, yourself doesn't get into it, and that's part of the reason I put the prompts together, because my group were telling me like we need more guidance. But I think there's a level of letting go. It's because we think that it's like, well, when I'm going to write, is it going to be right? People always say that to me, and I'm like, there's no right or wrong. Like, draw a picture if you like, do a scribble, write what happened in your day, write what exactly is on your mind, just like you would sit here and talk to me over a coffee.
I mean, thinking of that then, because what I do journal in the morning when I get up and do, I was up at 5 this morning. I thought with a meditation this morning because there was so much fucking resistance, and that's okay as well. With any of this work, there will be times of resistance, and it's just acknowledging those and allowing it, and then starting again tomorrow. And that's kind of where I'm at today. But I noticed with my journal this morning, because I do the journaling, but because the way my brain works like this, I literally will write down the most randomest of sentence, because like where you're saying just let it come out, my journal looks fucking crazy, lady, because it's just like bouncing.
But that's okay. Yeah, but that's you've really like hit on it there, because that's okay. You're not your journal isn't to show anyone else. So for me, it's to get the shit out of my head and onto paper, because when it's in my head, it's swirling around and it gets bigger and it's magnified and it takes over my life. Whereas if I can get it onto paper, I'm like, right, I can either move on with my day, or that problem that I foresaw in my head doesn't seem so big, or I can kind of almost ceremoniously, if something that I'm worried about, I can hand it over to the paper.
I love that.
So
hand it over
to the paper. It's like, there's nothing I can do about it in this moment. So let's just hand it over to the paper, see what happens. And usually it works itself out, or it doesn't seem so. You know, when you sit down and talk to a friend about something that's really bothering you, and you feel so much lighter.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about journaling. Because I mean, if I told my friends all of this shit in my head, they probably wouldn't be my friends anymore.
Yeah.
So
same.
But and then what I have done recently is marry up affirmations with journaling.
Okay.
And that has been really interesting, because everyone loves the cards, which I love that they love the cards.
Have you got a box there? Can we see the new packaging? Share it. Oh, I love it. It's all
every time I show it, I'm like, it's shining.
It's beautiful. I love it.
But as much as they look beautiful, I don't want it to be another thing that sits on your kitchen table, your bedside table, that had all kind of the flurry of joy when you received it, but isn't being used. It's like I don't know, my grandparents, they're like West Indian, come over from the West Indies, and so it's a typical thing that they would have a room where you've got sofas that have a plastic cover over it.
Well, they've only got.
Everyone's allowed to go in.
Yeah.
Is that whole keeping it for best? No.
Yeah.
Let's go and rip the plastic off the sofa and bloody sit on it and enjoy it. Let's take the cards out and use them, because them sitting on your kitchen table isn't benefiting you, and I want everyone to get the benefit from them. So marrying them up with journaling,
right,
is a way to make sure that you're using them, because you pick a card, and if you don't know what to talk about what comes up for you when you read that card. Ah,
nice. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And if you really don't want to go there, because sometimes it's uncomfortable, because like this work is uncomfortable, then write out the affirmation 50 times.
Just from the card that you picked?
Just from the card that you picked.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just use the card, like whether it's for journaling or whatever, use your affirmation.
I think it's really handy, like if people are on the go constantly with toddlers and don't have the luxury of sitting with the pen and paper and marrying them up like that, even just blue tacking them somewhere, isn't it? These feed us subliminally. You know, you can cover the cupboard by your kettle in just beautiful affirmations, and whilst you're waiting for the kettle to boil for that 1 minute, just be absorbing all this goodness into your belief system.
Yeah.
And I do that, and you know I do that. I pick it and I put it on my monitor at my desk so that when I'm working all day, my eyes are constantly drawn back to it. So ironically, after the day that I'm having the emotional shit that I'm dealing with up here today, I love the one I picked out. I let go of fear and doubt. You know, because a lot of what I'm feeling at the moment is resistance around fear of growth, fear of a massive one I struggle with when I'm sort of thinking of this card is fear of, if we do all this work on ourselves, who are we afterwards? That comfortable feeling of knowing yourself as you are in your current state, however hellish that current state is, but feeling comfortable that you know that person. The fear of letting go and doubt, for me, I see this card this morning as my personal journey of I'm moving into another phase of myself, and that's really fucking scary. So the tears will come in a minute, because this is the thing. It's these affirmation cards make you look at yourself and think, right, what is this fucking telling me? And right now I know that this card is telling me that it's safe for me to move into this next version of myself, or to become more attached to myself, or whatever is going to process over the next day or so. But just those simple words that you've put on a card, Nicola, can emote this kind of emotional attachment to something, and to be able to help us figure out what the fuck the message is, you know? So, I mean...
Exactly. And I feel like so many of us, we're used to having this negative voice in our heads. Like before I started this self-discovery journey, the voice that was going around in my head, I thought that was normal. Like I thought it was normal for me to have an inner critic. I thought everybody had it.
Yeah.
And then I started this journey and I met people who didn't. And I'm like, what? Like the conversation you have with yourself doesn't go like this. Like, no, I want some of that. Yeah. And so the affirmations help you to turn that conversation around. And like you said, putting them on your bathroom mirror. I put mine where I wash up, so I can look at it, or in the car, and then remind myself, especially if it's a day when I'm parenting, I'll remind myself, I'll just say it in my head sometimes. It's just to counteract that negative voice that has been there for like 30 something years. It needs work to be nudged out, and that's what affirmations help to do. So.
I mean, I certainly get the inner critic thing, and I'm reading that book Playing Big at the moment. And have you read it?
Yes, it's my favourite book.
It's brilliant. And when she talks about the inner critic, and when I was first started my therapy journey, and she says, name them, give them a character, this inner critic, make friends with them kind of thing, even though you think they're the biggest fucker in the world because they're taking you down every day. When you put a personality and a character to them, they become less of an attack. And mine, actually, she said, what do you want to call it? And I called mine Bully, because that's what it felt like. I felt like I was being internally bullied by my own brain, and that caused so much fucking conflict. But what we realised at that point is, if you've got this inner critic, there must also be, because the world is full of balance, mine was here, I always went like this, there is one that can balance it out, and it's about just rebalancing. And I think, like you say, when you've had many years of being told you're shit, or feeling like shit, or reaffirming to yourself that you're shit, this bully's taken over. But actually with affirmations, it gives power to the nurturing, the empathetic side, the side that will love you and make you feel good. We've just forgotten how to love ourselves, and I think these cards are so important in the journey of self-love and acceptance. Yeah,
I feel like a part of my mission is to help women realize how amazing they are. And sometimes when I say it to certain people, I just see them kind of internally eye rolling. I'm like, you stay there with your eye roll, because I know that that's what it is. When you realize how amazing you are, that like all of the women watching this are, when they realize that, then they can kind of, whether it's just feeling better within themselves, whether it's going on to do whatever it is they want to do. But I feel like every time someone reads one of those cards, it's just like you've got this, you can do this. And it's so interesting what you're saying about the inner critic and the other side, like the inner cheerleader. So for me, I've been meditating a lot, and sometimes I might pick a card before my meditation or afterwards, But in my meditation practice, I've been able to access that inner cheerleader.
Nice.
And so on her. So sometimes now, if I'm in a good space, then I can look at a card and be like, well, what's she telling me? Rather than it kind of being a battle against the inner critic, if that makes sense. But that's a really nice place. We've all got an inner cheerleader, just sometimes she's a bit deeper down than we would like, but that can be interesting as well. So
I think,
like, what would your best friend say? What would your biggest supporter say?
And that's what I'm talking a lot about in the group at the moment is, you know, there's such an outpouring of love for everybody else, and yet we post how much we hate ourselves. Something I did write in my journal today, one of my many mad ramblings that I just, like a one-liner, was something like, if all women love themselves, the world will be a better place. You know, this isn't just, we're not duty-bound to make ourselves feel better, just. We're also duty-bound to send these ripples out so that the world feels better. You know, the world is closing in on us now with all this bad shit that's going down. And we can either add to the bad shit by sending out bad shit vibes, or we can try and soften the bad shit by sending out good love vibes, you know? Not in a hippie woo-woo way, because I think everyone knows I'm not like that. But we know that people radiate stuff. You know when you're standing next to a negative person, it's coming off them. And that's going off into the world and adding to all the negativity in the world. So by us all using affirmations daily, we will be emitting positivity onto that shit. And at some point, there's going to be a shift.
Yeah, exactly. The positive energy will tip over, and And I even see it in my household, like, to take it back, like, to micro level. I see it in my household. When I started doing this kind of work, especially with my little girl, the change in her was massive, and she's just like 4 years old, and you can already see that. I'm so passionate as well about young women getting this stuff. Like, if we had this stuff when we were younger, that would have been amazing. So with especially, I'm very conscious with girls as well, because like the book Playing Big highlights, that I'm not saying that men don't experience these kind of things, but the level to which women do, it's massive, because we're getting it from all sides, and it's a constant. You just have to sit down and watch Disney, and it's feeding certain messages, isn't it? So when I started doing affirmations with my daughter and building it into her every day, her confidence levels were like off the scale. Even the nursery teacher was like, what's happened to Mia in the last 6 months? It makes such a difference, because we're not, even at that young age, that positive voice.
Well, that's where all our learnings begin. At like 4, 5, 6, that's where we're learning how we are. Well, we believe whatever we're learning at that time. So if your daughter's believing the affirmation she's reading, I mean, that's it's just incredible. But my daughter
believes that she's amazing.
Yeah, and that's her belief.
It's her belief. Yeah.
Yeah, and that'll be her core to her being an adult, as we know, because this inner child is always, you know, doing everything, is in control of everything. I bought my daughter Darcy, who's 13, the cards for Christmas, and actually looking at your pinboard behind you, the Enjoy the Journey, that's up on her mirror in her bedroom, and she sticks the cards all over her bedroom. And I shared a card the other day, and she lives with her dad half the week, so we only communicate then via the wonderful modern world of technology. And I shared a picture on Instagram of one of the cards. It was I deserve to be happy, and she, on my Instagram, she wrote, I picked this one today. So she's doing it unprompted. She believes in it. She connects with it. She's talking about the ripples and it all going outwards, because my daughter's doing this work alongside me now at 13. Her friends were having a bit of a thing at school the other day, and Darcy said something to them like, she said, oh, Mum, you'd have been proud of me today. I said to my friend, but you don't have to feel like that. You can choose how you feel. So, you know, yeah, at 13, that's fucking huge for a girl to stand in her power and say, hold on, but it doesn't have to be like this, rather than just being a sheep. So these ripples, even us as women, are going to be passing messages down to not just our girls, our friends' girls, our sisters' girls, you know, it's going to go down, and then there'll be a lot less fucked up women in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing. That's what we need.
It's changing that internal conversation.
Mm.
So then it's changing the conversation that we have with each other and the way that we kind of show up and everything.
Mm. And I mean, and you'll be feeling it with your little girl as well. It's like all the work that we're doing on ourselves now is benefiting them. It's benefiting them. It's, you know, these lessons aren't just to make us feel better.
No, exactly.
It's so big.
Funny. Yeah, I was putting together some content for my Dream and Do Club, and I was talking about how physiology impacts the way that we feel and then behave. So there's a TED talk by Amy Cuddy where she talks about the power pose. And it's kind of like the one woman, it's an amazing.
Yeah, the superhero pose. Yeah.
Exactly how that can make such a difference. So physiology makes such a difference. And this, I shared this TED talk in the group because it kind of encapsulates exactly what I was trying to say about how our physiology is so important. And I watched the video again and I was like, I can't wait to show that to Mia as she gets older. Kind of, even she's starting school in September, and if she has any kind of nerves around it, I'll be like, do this, Mia. And I'm so happy that I have these tools to be able to pass on to her. Because if I had those, things would have been different.
Yeah. It's definitely if you don't do the work for yourself, do it for others. You know, we're so quick to do it for everybody else. So fuck it, just spin it then and say, I'm reading these affirmation cards so that I can pay it forward to somebody else if that's what makes you feel better. Although, you know, you're worth it. Let's not get that wrong. Did you get the Rebel Girls book for Mia?
No.
Oh my God, I'll send you the link. Oh my God, it's incredible. Bedtime story for Rebel Girls. I got it for Darcy, and it's all famous women in history that you don't know, you don't learn about in school, funnily enough. But it's done in a sort of a bedtime thing. It's beautiful. I'll send you. It's in Tesco's for like £9 at the moment. So if any of you have got girls and you want them to have a more balanced view of the world and how women have risen above and actually have achieved massive fucking stuff, bedtime stories for Rebel Girls is, go and get it from Tesco's. It's half price. It's like £9. It's just brilliant. Love it. Thank you for your time, Nicola. Have you got any kind of bargains going on for these cards? Because I do love me a bargain.
Yeah. Well, I've relaunched the cards, and so as you just show it again. And they come with 2 new prints, actually 3 new prints, because I decided to add another one. And if you buy 2 packs, you get £5 off. So,
nice.
So you get one for yourself and get to share the love. And lots of the orders I have, actually, people are buying double because they want to share it.
What a beautiful gift to pay it forward as well. You know, like that I done with the wristbands, that kind of random acts of kindness. What an incredible random act of kindness it would be to buy the 2 boxes and get your money off, which we all love anyway. Keep your own box for your personal growth and gift a box. Giving that to someone. You know what I mean? I just think that's such a beautiful random act of kindness to do. So, yeah, it's go and get your bargain. And the prints that you're talking about, I've got them stuck on the wall. I wonder if I can tell my laptop. The Katie Edwards, look, this is my inspo wall. I'm building it up because I've just moved my desk. But we all need shit to look at. And that Katie Edwards, can you sit in the middle? I'll have to, I'm not going to share it because it's your thing. But I live and breathe by it. You know, even the print that came with it. And like I said, that postcard behind you, Darcy's got that up on her wall. So anyway, mega value for money, babe. Thank you so much. You've really picked me up this morning, Nicola.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I literally, like, is it finished already? I could talk all day.
Oh, me too. I know. But I need to go and watch Loose Women. I've just told you that. I've got to go and rack up some Orange is the New Black with 0 fucks laying in front of Netflix today.
Absolutely. Enjoying every single moment.
Damn straight. Thank you so much, Nicola. Can you... I'll find the link for your cards, and I'll is it just on your website? I'll find the link
on my website under the shop. Yeah.
Cool. I shall share the link for anybody who's watching this. Check the description above, and the link will be there for you to go and bag yourself a bargain and treat yourself to a random act of kindness.
And thank you. And I just want to say a thank you to you, Lauren.
No, not this morning.
I'm just going to say thank you to you because honestly. You have been such a part of my journey. You really have. Like, when I met you on that day, I was just like, that lady, I don't know how I'm going to worm my way into her life, but I am, and I did. I manifested that shit. honestly, what you're doing, I love it, and it's beautiful. So I want to, and I know all of the other ladies want to thank you as well. So I'm like taking on the baton because I'm here and you can't press me off. Like a huge thank you. So when you're sitting there watching Loose Women and Orange is the New Black, just receive it. Like, yeah, you're it. So, thank you for shining your light.
Yeah, I need to do some affirmations on that.
And that's another thing as well, just to add, is that the affirmation cards are great, but you can also write your own affirmations. Like sometimes I do that. If there's a card that's not quite fitting the exact thing that I'm going through, then I can write my own, and that might be more powerful for you in that moment. So I'm actually in my, like, the next batch I want to do some blank cards in there.
Nice.
Write ones that are really personal to you, because that's magic happens then as well, when it's really
authentic, like from your what you're needing right at that moment.
Right at that moment. Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
We love you.
I love you too. Thank you so much, Nicola, for that. I'm going to shout the affirmation words, and in the Becoming Enough project, there's more work on affirmations. So if you want to get more deeply involved, then tap me up and we'll chat about the course. Thanks for joining me, my darling. Have a wonderful day, whatever you're doing, and I shall speak to you soon. Bye. Take care. Bye. Bye.